Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, I wanted to start a new sort of resource that I'm going to be offering each month. It's going to be the moon messages for each life path number. And so I'm going to take a look at the numerology forecast and include animal wisdom messages for the full and the new moons each month. So we're going to start doing that for the full moon that's coming up on August 31st, 2023. So we'll take a deeper dive into each life path number, what you can expect, what energies you can be expecting to work with when it comes to the numerology, and then your animal wisdom message for that moon cycle. So for the day of the illumination, and then the couple weeks that follow. Of course, to get the most sort of dialed in, most accurate reading for your own personal journey, the best solution, of course, is a personal reading. So if you would like to book some time with me, my information is in the description box below. I would love to work with you and take a look. You can book some time with me there. And then also, if you are on my YouTube channel and you're a subscriber, or if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. But if you're a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell, because that way when I drop videos, you'll be alerted. And so you can catch those as they come out. And that also helps my channel kind of work with this crazy algorithm that we're working with YouTube these days. So I appreciate that in advance if you enjoy these videos. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. Life path number 5. So this full moon is illuminating the energies of the 6 and that of Black Swan. So Black Swan energy is that of sort of like the 9 of Swords. So it's like this mental anguish, something that's sort of been really keeping you up at night, that you've been kind of obsessing over or really thinking about a lot, and you can't seem to release it. It's something where almost you've become so consumed by the stories that you've sort of created in your own mind about the real situation, and it's sort of taken over the situation. And so it's kind of creating that mental anguish, and it's something that you continue to think about. And so with this energy coming through, there's definitely something here about taking some time to deconstruct that thought process, right? So, or that irrational fear, or whatever the case may be. It might feel like a very real fear, or a really real possibility that something might happen, right? So like, you get an eviction notice, and so you know that that's going to happen, right? Or you assume that's going to happen because the reality is showing you that's going to happen. And so, of course, your mind's going there and you're trying to figure it all out, right? But the reality is that event hasn't occurred yet. You haven't been evicted. You got the notice. So instead of sort of going in the mind and creating every worst case scenario, deconstruct those fears. What's the worst case scenario? How will I handle that? What does that look like? What are my options? Where are my resources? What are my limitations? And kind of really break that down and get yourself equipped to, be in a sort of safer place physically than just thinking about it and letting it sort of take over your reality. So there's definitely, and that was just the first example that popped into my mind, right? Like, so, and that's sort of just a quick example, right? So whatever it is that you're dealing with that is more in the mind, the physical reality might be showing you something very similar, and so it might feel very, very real, right? But if there's something where it's like something has come up in the physical, and now you've taken it and ran with it within the mind, and it's become very mental, and it's affecting your life, this can really highlight for you your options, right? And like resources could come in, help could come in, and where it is that maybe you need to, have a deeper conversation with someone, especially if it's like about a relationship, right? Like, would it help to have a conversation with that person to alleviate those issues? Or is it better to continue to conjure up the stories in the mind, right? So there's definitely a lot here about, what is consuming your thoughts, and what is sort of taking up rent what is taking up space in your mind free of rent? I think that's how the saying goes. Because that really needs your attention around this full moon, because there's something here that's like hindering you from moving forward or from finding that peace that really is mind driven. And so Black Swan coming through is saying, let's take a deep dive. Let's move from any kind of victimization into one of empowerment, where we're back in control of our own actions, our own, what we choose to do, right? Because we always have choices. So not to minimize or invalidate the experience, but it's also, to remind us that, okay, if my mind is taking over here, what's real? What's irrational? What's rational? What's irrational? What can I work with? What can I not work with? Because that kind of puts the control back over to you as the person who's letting the mind run wild. So kind of heavier energy around this time, but nothing that can't be dealt with, right? It's really something where it takes that dedication to giving yourself that own tender, loving care and that sort of nurturing that you may need, right? Or asking for that help from others, because you all are also working with, again, the energy of the 6 at this full moon. And so at this cycle, it might be that you really need to nurture yourself or ask for that nurturing from others. Now, the vibration of the 6 is about truth, honesty, and the vibration of love. And so anywhere where that vibration is not being met, things will bubble to the surface. The light will be shown, full moon, on wherever those areas are that need to come into congruence. And so you may see that there's you're confronted by things where, again, there's maybe you haven't been very honest with yourself, or you haven't been honest with others, or others have not been honest with you. And have you created a space for that person to be honest? And are you willing and able to receive that honesty? And so there's kind of a lot that really comes in under a 6 cycle. It can be a little intense. But this is a shorter cycle. It's only a couple of weeks. But it can definitely bring up things that create a storyline, or that highlight themes that have been kind of occurring that need to be dealt with. Where is it in your life that some more honesty could be infused? Where is it in your life that more love could be infused? And truth, right? Your own truth, and being open to other people's truths, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of sort of inner work, shadow work, really self-reflection kind of coming through around this full moon. And again, it's a general reading. So if you're this does not make sense to me, then that's okay. Then it's probably not meant for you. But there is definitely some deeper energy coming in around this full moon for a lot of 5s who just really need to see where it is that they're being too hard on themselves, or need to give themselves more grace, or ask for the help that they need, and then receive that help. Because 5 energy can be a very independent energy, and so it can be difficult for 5s to ask for help when they need it, or to recognize their limitations and where it is that they can call in people to assist. And so again, it can become very mental, where it's okay, in the mind, right? Just think about it and beat yourself up about it, or whatever the case may be. And you kind of keep yourself stuck there. So, and then, just goes down spiraling from there. So this full moon could bring up, again, where it is that, you just need to ask for help, ask for assistance, and then be open to receiving it, with an open and gracious heart. And also, what is it showing you? Where it is that you need to be more honest with yourself or honest with others? Where is it that maybe there could be a little bit more love infused? So whatever that brings up for you, but you'll know, right? If this is for you, you'll know, because you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll think of the scenario immediately as you're hearing this. So that's the area that you're probably going to be confronted with around this full moon, that just needs your attention, that just needs your presence and your calm focus, and then your willingness to be vulnerable and ask for assistance. So really beautiful energy around this time. And remember, doing that work, doing that shadow work, and working through the sort of stories of the mind, and, being very honest with ourselves about what we need and how we feel, and communicating that to others, that can be so incredibly freeing. And that's such a big element of the 5, right? Once it's the freedom seeker, it wants that freedom. So, it can be a little bit challenging when you're moving through it, but it's opening the door so that you can have that freedom that you're looking for. So, very powerful energies around this full moon. So I hope it's a beautiful one for you all. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.